Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for March 13th, 2023 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. Today was overcast with snow showers off and on throughout the day. The winds were light and started from the west-southwest and then shifted more northwest as the day went on. The count ended early due to those snow showers. It will be a short update today because I didn't really take many photos because of the poor conditions, but here we have a flock of snow geese that migrated over in the morning. Remember that snow geese are white. Their necks are relatively short, especially compared to something like tundra swans, which are also white but are much larger and have a much longer neck. And snow geese also have black on the wingtips, whereas tundra swans have pure white wings. Here we have a male red-winged blackbird, and we can see a little bit of red in the shoulder area. But even without that, we can see that the eye looks dark, which would roll out things like rusty blackbird and common grackle. Also, grackles would have a much longer tail. There were some Canada geese hanging around in the grass around the platform, being very noisy. Seems like they're starting to get a little bit territorial. It's kind of funny to see them paired up in groups and honking and chasing each other around. Looking at the eBird checklist for today, I had 46 species. And looking at the HawkCount report, the only migrant raptors were one turkey vulture and one rough-legged hawk. And that rough leg migrated right along the lake shore, too distant to get photos, but it was a dark morph. And then later in the day, we also saw the dark morph that's been hanging around. So 2 rough legs seen today. The only new species for the season was a pied-billed grebe, which was over near the East Spit. And looking at the forecast for tomorrow, we have snow and gusty winds with temperatures in the low to mid 30s. Winds west-northwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, here in Rochester, we're expected to get 1 to 3 inches of snow, and that will mostly be throughout the day tomorrow, which is Tuesday. But other parts of New York are supposed to get up to 3 feet of snow and have strong winds, and it's supposed to be really wet, heavy snow. So there's a state of emergency declared for New York State. And even though our region's not going to get hit the hardest, just everyone stay safe out there. I probably won't even go out to the Hawk platform just because of the unfavorable conditions and don't want to take a chance getting out there on the messy roads. Give them a chance to clean up. Because for Wednesday, we're looking at partly cloudy with gusty winds in the afternoon. High 37, winds west-northwest at 20 to 30. So the snow will be out of here for Wednesday. Might even get a little bit of sun, but really strong winds from the west-northwest. Wouldn't really expect much migration to be happening on Wednesday either. And for Thursday, we're looking at cloudy with a high of 44, so much warmer than we've had. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So Thursday is a day we definitely want to keep an eye on. A lot of times recently when the weather forecast has said cloudy, we've had some times that it was brighter or even the sun came out. And if we get some sunshine combined with those winds, we could definitely get some decent raptor migration, especially considering how poor the weather's been for the past couple weeks. So we'll keep an eye on it over the next few days to see how it develops, but looks like Thursday might be the first good day that we've had this month. And before we end today, let me just give a brief summary of what the ideal conditions look like here. So for winds, southwest are our best winds. And especially as we get later in the season, we want them to be at least 12, 13 miles per hour. And the reason for that is if they're weaker than that, then sometimes that cold lake breeze kicks in and that pushes the migrants away from the lake. So fairly strong southwest wind is the ideal wind direction. West-southwest and westerly winds can also be okay, but southwest is the best. In terms of cloud cover, we like to have a mix of sun and clouds. The reason for that is we want some sunshine to generate thermals, right? The sun heating the ground, creating areas of rising hot air. If it's a thick overcast, then sometimes those thermals can't be generated and we don't get much activity. Now, we also don't want a perfectly blue sky because on days like that, it's just really hard to spot the raptors because there's nothing for your eye to focus on. So it's hard to focus at the right distance. And also when you have a raptor up against a blue sky, it's sort of a pale colored dot against a blue background. Whereas it's much easier to spot a hawk against a cloud where it looks like a dark dot against a white cloud. So mix of sun and clouds, you get kind of the best of both worlds there. And obviously the time of the season also plays a big role. This time of year, even if we get perfect weather conditions, we still only get a moderate day. Whereas later in the season, when you're in peak migration time, you can have so-so weather and still end up with a huge day. So first couple weeks of the season are a bit slow. As we get towards the end of March, numbers really start to pick up, especially with turkey vultures. They're the first ones that hit that peak migration right at the end of March, beginning of April. And then as we get into April, a lot of other species are really starting to peak as well. So that's when we start to get the really big days, especially as the broad-winged hawk numbers pick up in mid-April. Again, everyone stay safe with the weather the next few days, and I hope to see you out at the platform soon. From Lyco Birds, this is David Brown. Thanks for watching.